Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for Fantasy Premier League content for the 2021-22 season. We're going to do a very quick, short 20-30 minute stream today, just because I would have done this as a video ideally, but I kind of run out of time. Been feeling a little bit burnt out today because I did I stayed up quite late editing yesterday's video on this channel, and then this morning and early afternoon as well, I was doing a video for Hub as well, recorded, edited, published a video for Hub as well. So it's been a bit manic. Obviously I'm doing a lot of wedding planning at the moment as well, because I'm getting married in 2 weeks time, which is very, 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 very soon indeed. So yeah, I thought, okay, let's just do a stream instead, and hopefully we can make something fairly interesting and fairly useful for you guys in a stream form instead. So since we had a little bit of extra time, often we have Friday fixtures, which leaves us with not much time before the deadline. You know, if it's a Friday deadline, there's not usually a Friday video, but we have got a little bit of time. So I thought I'd do an extra video this week, and we'd have a look at some predicted lineups. Now, this week I discovered, well, I guess I was followed by a Twitter account called Starting 11, and they've got a really, really cool website that it basically helps you predict the lineups for next week. So it's basically kind of like a game. So it starts off with the Opta predicted lineups, and then you can make changes and predictions to it. So I asked them, do you mind if I use your website in a stream just to display some predicted lineups kind of thing? And they said, yeah, go for it, absolutely fine. Just make sure you put a link in the description, which I absolutely have. But they're not paying me or anything like that. I just thought it was a really cool tool for predicting lineups that I'd share with you guys and use it to predict lineups for this game week. So I've had a look at all of the press conference news over the last couple of days, so I'm up to date on hopefully most things, if I can remember everything. I don't know if I'll be able to remember everything, but I will do my best. And then maybe, guys, in the comments, some of you guys, particularly if you're fans of particular clubs, you might be able to help me out a little bit as well. So let's see how we get on today. But without further ado, I think we go straight in. We go A to Z and start, well, A to W. And we'll start predicting some lineups starting with Arsenal. So here is the website. Hopefully you can see that okay. I'm going to go on Arsenal, and we're going to start off with Arsenal first. And yeah, this is what the Opta predicted lineup for the Arsenal match is going to be. Now, the only things I would possibly change about this is there's a slight chance that Aubameyang does start. So there is going to be a slight chance of Aubameyang coming in there. So for the sake of argument, I mean, I wouldn't want to be putting Balogun or Aubameyang in my team anyway, to be honest. I perhaps put Aubameyang in there because I think Arsenal do need him, to be fair. And other than that, I would say that's fairly accurate. Odegaard's not going to be ready to play yet, so he's not going to come in. Lacazette is not available to play this game. He's not ready yet. It'll be probably, obviously, Ben White and Mari will swap places in that team, and it will look like that. Saka's probably going to be coming back into this team this week, so it's going to look a little bit like that. Nice and easy. Hopefully, nothing too complicated there, and we can move on to the next team. So as long as there's no questions about that one, I don't think there will be. I don't think, well, other than Ben White, I don't think we really have any Arsenal players. Smith Rowe will play this game. Odegaard's not going to be quite ready. Odegaard will play next game. 5.5 million, by the way, Odegaard's coming at, which is quite impressive, isn't it, really, guys? So, yeah. Matthew W says he thinks that Arsenal will play with a back five. Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah. Quite possibly. Eric Murray says, if he reads this, Arsenal will win. 100% guaranteed. I hope so. Okay, anyway, on to Aston Villa's team. Martinez in goal. Cash Mings, constant target. Absolutely agreed. A few people had some concerns about target. Obviously, he got yanked at half-time. He wasn't fully fit. He wasn't fully in that game. He did play in a little friendly game, a little warm-up game since then. And it's kind of highly predicted that Target is going to come back into this team. So, he's going to be back in. Now, I will be making a change to this. There's not going to be any Ollie Watkins. We know that for sure. We know there's going to be no Ollie Watkins. He's possibly available for next game week against Brentford, but again, I wouldn't count on it. So, guys, if you do have Ollie Watkins, really strongly consider removing him. He's not going to play game week 2, and he might play in game week 3. Not worth keeping, in my opinion. But Bailey is very unlikely that he's going to be playing. Bertrand Traore is not available either. So, what I'm actually going to predict here is that it's either going to be Ashley Young in there at left wing, or it could also possibly be, if I can find him, Ramsey. Where is Ramsey? Have I missed him? Jacob Ramsey. Yeah, I could see either Jacob Ramsey or Ashley Young coming in there. I think if Ramsey comes in, maybe Ramsey plays through the middle. Is he more of a central type player maybe? Or maybe El Ghazi goes out to the left, Ramsey on the right, or Buendia on the right maybe. Something like that. Thank you very much for the super chat, Dennis Coelho. Good luck going full time. Request to do a pod with Don Robbie, AFTV. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if I could make that happen, obviously I would. But that's going to be quite ambitious, isn't it? It's going to be quite ambitious to do that. But thank you very much for the super chat, Dennis. I really do appreciate that. Thank you, man. But yeah, for this Aston Villa team, it's going to be Ramsey or Young coming in. I don't know what Villa fans think. Elliot in the chat says Young 100%. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know if it's 100%, but there's definitely a good chance. There's a good chance that Young will be the guy there. But yeah, Ramsey is also a very good possibility there as well. But anyway, we'll move on because I think that's pretty standard, pretty much very, very similar to last week. We have El Ghazi there and Buendia and one of Ramsey or Young in the other position there as well. And the rest of it, pretty standard, really. So we'll go back and we'll go to the next team, to Brentford. Now, I have to admit, guys, I'm not fully versed to my Brentford. I'm only kind of just learning about Brentford a little bit. The only real players I did research on in terms of Brentford this week have been Tony and Buemo, Canos and Rico Henry, because those are really the only players that have been of any interest at all to me, really. I know that Onyeka is going to be back. He's going to be playing. So, yeah, he's not injured. So that's going to be pretty much what it looks like. It's the same as before, except this time we've got Beck Sorensen in instead of yeah. So Zaki Malek, thank you very much for joining as a channel member. Olivier says, "Sub Dan, I heard you're winning FPL this year." I hope so. I mean, it could happen, right? It could happen. But anyway, not going to pretend to know too much about Brentford and how they will line up, but we're expecting similar to last week according to Opta, and I'm just going to trust Opta on that one. I've not heard any new injuries, so I think that's just our best prediction. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are not going to be interested in too many players. Maybe you've got Pinnock, Henry, Canos, and Buemo, and Tony. Those guys, I would say, with a good degree of confidence, are going to play, as with Raya. So all of the players that you're probably interested from Brentford, they're going to be playing. Brighton and Hove Albion next. And yeah, this is kind of an interesting one because we do think Duffy is going to play again. Dunk's back. We know that there's no Lamptey, there's still no Veltman, there's still no Welbeck. They still do have quite a few problems. But the only kind of maybe questions that you might ask is it going to be maybe Alzate as a winger? Probably not. He's probably going to be March and Gross. I've tried to remember who else could possibly come in there. There is another player who could possibly come in there. Where is he? Moda could come in on one of the sides potentially. Maybe have Moda in there. He came on did he get an assist in that game? So yeah, maybe he's going to come into that team. But again, who are we really interested in this team? Sanchez, Duffy, Dunk, maybe some of you guys are on Webster, maybe some of you guys are on Morpay and Trossard, maybe a lot of you guys will be on Basuma as well. He will play. Morpay will play, Trossard will play, Webster, Duffy, Dunk. I'm pretty confident that will be the back three. I know Duffy is here at 56%, but I do think that that's going to be the back three, to be honest. Tariq Lamptey is, like I say, is not going to be available. He's another player we'd perhaps be interested in. But yeah, that's going to be pretty standard again. Brighton lineup, nothing too interesting. But guys, we are going to get to some more interesting teams soon. Don't worry. First of all, we're going to have to do Burnley. We are going to have to do Burnley. So this is the Burnley lineup as predicted by Opta. I would potentially make some changes to this. So, I would maybe take out Goodmanson and put in Josh Brownhill there, if I'm honest. And I would also consider remove it. Well, like I said, it's going to be a bit of a toss-up there, to be honest, between Brownhill and Goodmanson in that position. And I'm also going to predict maybe that, you know what, if I'm completely honest, and you know what, I am going to be completely honest with you guys. I'm going to put Goodmanson there. I'm actually going to change this to a 4-4-1-1, if I can find the formation. 4-4-1-1, or maybe something more like this. And no, yeah, but swap. Okay, right, basically that, but swap Wood and Brownhill and advance Brownhill a little bit. Maybe a 4-2-3-1 kind of thing, sort of, but not really. 4-4-1-1 is kind of the formation it'll be. There we go, 4-4-1-1. Okay, it'd be that, but swap Wood and Brownhill. That is what I would predict Burnley would set up, because at the end of last season we saw a lot that against some of the tougher teams, Burnley did switch to a kind of try to pack the midfield a little bit more and put an extra central midfielder on there, and just went with a one striker in attempt to get, nick those kind of goals kind of thing. We've got a super chat from John Xanthopoulos. Can you rate my team? Oh, since your super chat is, yeah, I suppose I can. Shaw, Trent, Simicast at the back, yeah, very nice. Greenwood, Salah, Bruno, Benrahma in midfield, yep, exactly the same as me. Ings, Antonio, and Tony up front, yeah, it's pretty much the same team as me. The only difference is that Tony is, you've got Tony and I've got Wilson. I don't know who your goalkeeper is there, but yeah, no, teams looking very, very, very nice indeed, my friend. Well done. But yeah, that's what I would predict for the Burnley lineup. But we are going to go to an interesting one now, because I know you guys are probably been waiting for some interesting ones. We're going to go for Chelsea. And yeah, I agree. Mendy, yes. Rudiger, Christensen, Chalobah, yes, that's probably pretty accurate. James and Chilwell, yep, I would definitely say that those are going to be the two fullbacks. And Jorginho and Kovacic, yes, they are going to be the central midfielders. Now, yeah, some of you guys who are potentially talking about Alonso, obviously you're gonna probably predict that Alonso's going to play if you've brought in Alonso, or if you have Alonso. Yeah, you're probably going to say, oh, he's going to play. But if someone who doesn't have Alonso or Chilwell, hopefully I can try and be a little bit neutral here and say I would strongly suggest that Chilwell is going to play in this game. I don't know for 100%, but Alonso's days are limited. Chilwell's the first choice left back here, so yeah. But we are going to make some changes because Pulisic has been ruled out, so he is not going to play. So we're going to remove Pulisic, and I'm actually going to replace him with Kai Havertz. Which, if you got Kai Havertz in your team, you might be quite impressed by that. So yeah, Pulisic, he's not going to play in this game. He has got COVID, unfortunately. He's contracted COVID over the last couple of days, so unfortunately he's not going to play. And even more interestingly, there's been some really positive sounds out of the Chelsea camp about Lukaku. So I'm actually going to predict Lukaku to play in this game, and I'm going to say that is going to be the Chelsea lineup. Now, this is a tough one, guys. Remember, this is a very, very tough one. There is the Thomas Tuchel rotation. There is going to be rotation in that Chelsea team. But this is what I'm kind of thinking. Mount seems to be pretty certain because of the injury to Ziyech, the COVID situation with Pulisic. The defence is pretty much set. The midfield is pretty much set. The real question is does Kai Havertz play? And Lukaku, like I said, they're quite happy with how he's getting on in training and stuff. So there's a really, really strong indication that Lukaku is going to play. Mr. Danny Mack in the chat says Alonso is starting. Have you bought Alonso? Tell the truth. If you've bought Alonso and you're saying Alonso is starting, then perhaps maybe you're being a little bit positive. I mean, it could happen. It could happen, Yeah. Something like that. Surely Dave will play for Chelsea in the back three or over James. Potentially, I'm not 100% sure. You reckon, some people in Chelsea fans reckon he's going to play over Chalobah. Is Chalobah going to be released from the team so quickly? Okay, all right. I will take your word for it, Chelsea fans, because you are the fans after all. Sort of when I've seen various predicted lineups around the. Is he even? Can I even put him in? Is it letting me? Show all players. There you go. All right. Yeah, when I've kind of seen things online and stuff, they've kind of suggested that Chalobah will play. But yeah, if Chelsea fans reckon Azpilicueta is going to play above Chalobah, then there you go. Obviously, I would not bet on either one. I would not be buying Chalobah. I would not be buying Azpilicueta because I would say that it's probably a little bit up in the air there. But there you go. Right, there you go. As long as if you're happy with that, I'm pretty happy with that Chelsea predicted lineup. I think that's pretty good. For someone in the chat says, what is the situation with De Bruyne? We will get to Man City. I know you're very excited, guys, for Man City. We'll get there. We'll rush through some of the less interesting teams that perhaps we're not talking about so much. So let's rush through Crystal Palace. Previously lined up in a 4-4-2, but this time they're predicted to line up in a 4-3-3. maybe because of the slightly more favourable fixture, perhaps. Obviously, Chelsea game was pretty tough. But yeah, I've not really heard too much about any formation changes elsewhere. But yeah, okay, I don't know. Jeffrey Schlupp as a left centre mid, maybe. I'm not fully convinced by this, if I'm honest. Yeah, if I was to guess, and like I said, I'm no Crystal Palace expert either, but from what I do know, a 4-4-2 seems pretty well, more of a 4-4-1 with kind of maybe Jeffrey Schlupp there. Oh, this is going to be a nightmare to make, but we're going to do it anyway. All right, let's get another central midfielder in there first. Conor Gallagher could come in, couldn't he? Yeah, Conor Gallagher could come in this game, which is going to mean maybe Schlupp there. Where are you? And then Zaha. Where is Zaha? Have I got him somewhere else by accident? Zaha, sort of a second striker kind of thing, and then Mateta or Ayew as the striker. But since Mateta's already there, we'll leave him there. Or Riedewald is going to be playing in central midfield, though, aren't they? So okay, yeah, maybe they haven't quite got the. Yeah, they haven't really got a right winger at the moment. Okay, yeah, I kind of get why they've gone 4-3-3. I didn't even spot Riedewald on that I've moved accidentally there. So okay, in that case, yeah, probably take out Schlupp then, and then put Jordan Ayew. Obviously, Zaha and Ayew would switch around. It's a difficult one. It is a difficult one. Crystal Palace, I'm not fully convinced by them. Lau he says, when we get a new webcam, it's so laggy now. It's not the webcam that's the problem, it's my computer. I'm building a new computer at the moment, so yeah. Lisa Upham says, Conor Gallagher will definitely start. He's one of the best youth players from the Prem. Watched him from the youth, and trust me, he is amazing. Yeah, no, absolutely. I do expect that he will get in the team. So there we go. Yeah, so something like this, Zaha and Ayew swapped around, I guess would be the sensible one because of the lack of options, I guess, on the wings at the moment for Crystal Palace. Maybe this is just the way they're going to go. But that sounds pretty sensible to me. So we'll stick with that, and we'll move on. Everton. Yeah. I don't think I'd really change that. I don't know about you guys. Maybe go to a 4-4-2 with Richarlison as a striker up there. I don't think I would change too much there. So maybe let's just change the formation, I suppose, and go with a 4-4-2. We know that James Rodriguez is still not quite available. Richarlison is out, I've not seen that Richarlison is out. I don't know if anyone can confirm that or not. Okay, yeah, basically swap Richarlison and go there. Godfrey potentially instead of Holgate. Godfrey played quite well, last season. Let's put Godfrey in. It says 0% on predictions, so I'm going to just stick with Holgate, I think. 4-4-2 is going to be Richarlison swap with Gray, pretty much. Possibly Godfrey in for Holgate, if he's available. Anderson at centre-back for Palace. Yeah, I mean, if he's ready to go, then yes, quite possibly. But yeah, guys, I'm going to power through because the time is getting on, and we need to get to Man City, don't we? We need to get to Man City. Phillips is potentially back. We know Llorente is not ready. Phillips might be back. I'm not fully convinced if he will be. So, yeah, we'll see on Phillips. But other than that, yeah, I would say something like that. Is Junior Firpo going to be playing in this game? Is he? How available is Firpo? 44% suggested. Yeah, there's a very good chance that he could come into the team. Maybe it's something like this. If Phillips isn't available, then potentially something like this. maybe, or Rodrigo not starting. You know, if Phillips is available, let's find him again. Then maybe Rodrigo drops out and then Dallas comes in there, for example. Because a few people have said in the chat already, Rodrigo's not really nailed. So yeah, I mean, there's been positive talks about Rodrigo in pre-season and at the end of last season about how his place in the team. So, but it's kind of difficult to think where he's going to fit in exactly. So, assuming everyone's ready to go, obviously Llorente in defence is not going to be available, and Strauch and Cooper, they would swap places in that team. But yeah, assuming everyone's good to go other than that, that looks pretty accurate to me. Marco Leary says rumours Dallas in midfield. So yeah, okay, that would support this argument of putting Dallas there. You know, if Firpo's going to be ready, they're happy to start him in this game, then slightly easier game than that game against Manchester United. That would have been a baptism of fire. There we go. That's what I'm going for Leeds. I'm pretty happy with that. Next team, Leicester. That's pretty much the same as last match, isn't it? Yeah, exactly the same as last match. Would there be any changes? Castagna is now available. That's the only potential thing. Could Castagna come in somewhere? Is Vestergaard going to come in this game? Potentially. I would say that Vardy, Barnes, Maddison, Perez, I would say that is going to be what's happened. Maddison is going to be available for this game, as is Barnes, Perez, Vardy, Ndidi, Tielemans. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. The questions I would probably say is around Amati, who we could potentially see Vestergaard coming in for his debut. And we could potentially have... Oh, someone's asked about Bertrand. I don't see why, but I think Bertrand was really brought in as cover, to be honest. Thomas is probably slightly preferred. Yoda says Maddison might not play. No, he's from what I've read, he's good to go. Maybe Ricardo Pereira comes out and in comes Castagna, but maybe. I wouldn't be confident about that. I certainly wouldn't be going for either one, to be honest. Maybe Thomas comes out and we put in Ryan Bertrand there. Maybe we can even put Timothy Castagna there as well. So that left-back position is probably a little bit of contention there. But, Luke Thomas is probably the sensible guess. And just have exactly the same lineup as last week, except maybe Vestergaard for Amati, I would probably say. So, guys, if you are looking to buy Amati, I would definitely avoid that one for now. I would definitely not be confident about Amati playing at all in this game. But there we go. Right, I'm going to move on. Because we're getting very close to Man City. I know you guys are waiting for Man City and then you're all going to go, aren't you? Okay, right. Alisson, Tsimikas, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Up front, Mane and Salah. Yes, definitely again. In the central false nine position... A lot of people might say, okay, they think Jota will play there. I would strongly speculate that Roberto Firmino will start as the false nine in this particular game against Burnley. I think that when he came on, he looked really good. I think the only reason he didn't start in the first game was perhaps due to a bit of summertime Brazilian fatigue, maybe. But he looks really good. He is the first choice at the end of the day. Jota is the first backup in terms of those three attacking positions. And don't let that put you off Jota. I mean, definitely don't buy Jota, but don't let that prediction make you think you have to sell Jota, because I don't think you do. He can be very, very effective off the bench as well. He has had some of his best scores for Liverpool last season were off the bench, so don't panic too much. We don't even know for sure that he's not even going to start, so he may even start. In midfield, there is a little bit of, there's kind of a little bit of good news of some of the players coming back into fitness. Fabinho's not going to be playing, so he will take him out immediately. I would probably suggest that James Milner might come in. Where are you? James Milner. And it'd be something like that, but there is a very, very slight, small chance that Jordan Henderson and Thiago might be available. A small chance. They're going to be they'll be assessed fairly late on. So, yeah, I would suggest that is probably the most likely midfield three, but there's a chance that the others might play. But, I mean, typically speaking, guys, we're not going to be going for too many Liverpool, those midfielders, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Milner, Keita, Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago. We're not going to be picking them in our FPL teams anyway. The last question that remains is this second centre-back position. Could be Konate, could be Matip. Don't know. Wouldn't, again, in terms of FPL, wouldn't go for either, just because it's not safe. Stick with your Trents and your Tsimikas and your Van Dijks. I don't think I'd buy Tsimikas. I think this is going to be Tsimikas' last game for Liverpool. Not last game ever, obviously, but Robertson is going to come back for game week 3. So this is the last chance for Tsimikas. Really. So not a player I would think about buying. Definitely. So there we go. Right, guys. I think it's time for the moment of truth, isn't it? And this, guys, by the way, is the hardest one of all to predict. This is the hardest one of all to predict. So, guys, if I don't get this right, and I probably won't, cut me some slack because it's really, really difficult. And don't again, if everyone knew the exact lineup for Man City, then that would make FPL so easy, because Man City are one of those teams that if you can get it right, you're in for the points, really. But there are some players I do think are going to play, some players I don't think are going to play. So, Edison, Ruben Dias and Stones, I would say, yes, they're going to play. Walker didn't play the first game. I would say it's his time to play. And João Cancelo, I would say, is a toss-up between him and maybe Zinchenko. So maybe it's something like that. We'll leave Zinchenko in there for now. I'm moving on into midfield. Rodri, yes. Grealish, yes. De Bruyne, no. So, the difficult situation with De Bruyne is that unfortunately he didn't train today. There is going to be it's going to be a like kind of last minute decision, I guess. But he's got a small problem with his ankle, which means that I would not be confident at all about De Bruyne starting in this game. So bad news, guys. If you've got De Bruyne in your team, or if you're thinking about bringing him in, I would be worried. I would be really worried about De Bruyne. So particularly if I know I've seen some people were thinking of swapping out Bruno Fernandes or Salah and switching them to De Bruyne. I would strongly advise against that, because it is so up in the air who is going to, if De Bruyne is going to play. I would suggest that it's unlikely that he will play, to be honest, especially because there's cover. Ilkay Gundogan, on the other hand, good news there. He is fit. He is good to go. There was no mention of his shoulder injury. It seems like he's good. It seems like he's good to go. He's trained. He's been doing actual proper training with the team, not just running training. He's been doing proper training. So, if we were to guess, I would say it's something like this. And, Foden, we know, is not going to be available. I think most other players, other than Foden and KDB, are available for Man City right now, which is good news for Man City. Bad news in terms of FPL, because it does, it's not as easy to make these kind of decisions. Gabriel Jesus, you would say there's a small chance that he swaps with Ferran Torres, but if I had to guess, put a gun to my head, made me choose one, I would go for Gabriel Jesus in this particular game, just because that's the typical rotation. Next new game, new team kind of thing. It's such is the way of Man City. But that, guys, in front of you right now is what I would probably predict most likely to be the starting lineup for Manchester City against Norwich. Again, like I said, I don't know. I don't know for sure. It could not happen. Someone said that Gundogan could play as a number 9 or a false 9. Really, I don't. Yeah, he did do that last season. He has done that at times before. I don't think that's going to happen in this particular game, just because there is no Kevin De Bruyne to play in midfield. They've not got Fernandinho to fill in midfield anymore. Foden can't play. He's not going to be able to fill in midfield. So they're kind of lacking in the central midfield. Unless of course, you could potentially You know, do something like, oh, hang on, let's just take out Gundogan for 1 second. Put in Bernardo Silva, and you know, there's potential for it to line up something like this. But what I had before, I would probably suggest that that's how it's going to be. I would actually, if I was to guess, it would be more like that. So that's what I would probably say. You know, especially, you know, Gabriel Jesus and Ferran Torres, they're kind of the two strikers right now. Gundogan was kind of filling in a way when some other players weren't available or weren't performing. Ferran Torres, he's had a really good, done really well when he has been playing. Gabriel Jesus, he's obviously deserves another chance, doesn't he? Particularly against Norwich, it's a good game to give him another chance. Particularly if Man City are finding themselves struggling to sign this striker that they need, you know. So there we go. That is how I would predict the Man City lineup. Something like that. No Cancelo, no KDB, no Foden, no Ferran Torres, no Bernardo Silva, no Edouard Mendy, no Laporte. Few players, but again, like I say, this is just predictions at this stage. We don't know for sure. Speaking of for sure, let's have a look at Shaw. Here we go. Shaw at left back. Okay, so Shaw at left back. Wan-Bissaka at right back. De Gea is probably going to start. Dean Henderson is not quite ready, I don't think. He's kind of a doubt for this game. Dean Henderson, when he is available, he is going to come back into the team, but he's not going to be quite ready to go. A few people are asking about Cancelo. Why not Cancelo? Just because of the rotation, you know. That's just how Pep rolls. He just rotates his team. There's no massive reason for Cancelo to start in this game. They've got Walker there. Zinchenko's probably got a good chance of playing at left back. He's probably between Cancelo and Zinchenko at left back. But yeah, no, I'm definitely not convinced that Cancelo's going to play it at all. I do think he's going to be on the bench. Sushil says, will Henderson be number one choice over De Gea once he is back? Yes, he will be. But for now, because Henderson is not fully ready, I don't know. Did I call Benjamin Mendy Edouard Mendy? Oh, my mistake. Too many Mendys in the world. Furland, Edouard, Benjamin. So many Mendys. But anyway, back to this team. And I would say that this is pretty much accurate. Yeah, I would say, yeah. I don't think I would change anything on that one, to be honest. Greenwood to start striker. I know people might have picked up on Cavani. He is back in the country. He is back training. They're hoping for him to be back, ready to go soon, playing soon, but not quite yet. A little bit too soon for Cavani. So it's still going to be Greenwood as striker, which is fantastic for us Greenwood owners, isn't it? That's going to be really nice against Southampton. I mean, honestly, if I was going to be very, very unsensible, if I was going to be a very, very stupid young man, I would probably consider captaining Greenwood for this game against Southampton. But you know, I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be stupid. I'm going to be sensible, and I'm going to captain. Well, the sensible picks are Salah and Bruno, really, aren't they? But anyway, yeah, a few people have suggested in the chat slight chance of Lindelof out and Varane in, but I don't think quite yet. I think Lindelof is going to play this game, and then game week 3 is going to be the one where Varane comes in. So yeah, something like that. That looks pretty good to me. A few people saying that Matic will start. What, ahead of who? McTominay? Something like that. Maybe. We're going to stick with McTominay though for the prediction anyway. Anyway, let's move on. I need to rattle through this because I need to. I said I'd do this stream for 20 minutes, half an hour. It's already been 35 minutes. Okay, let's rattle through this. Woodman is going to be in goal. We know that. Clark, Fernandez, Kraft, Murphy, Ritchie. Maybe suggestions that Kraft might not 100% play. Wilson and Sam Maximan up front. Shelvey is unavailable. So Shelvey is not going to be available for this game, which kind of puts, I guess, Hayden. I guess that puts Hayden in there. Be something like that. Maybe Kraft comes out. We put in, I don't know, Lascelles if he's back. Maybe. Do something like that. We'll leave in Kraft though for now. But yes, Willock is going to have his debut. So that's very exciting. There we go. Someone in the chat saying doubt on Sancho. I do think he's going to be. I don't think Sancho's going to start. I'd be pretty confident to say that Sancho's going to start this game. I'm not 100% obviously, but I would. Yeah, Sancho's probably going to start. Here we go with Norwich. Who is going to play? Krul, yes. Aaron's, yes. Gibson, yes. Hanley, yes. Giannis, yes. He's the new guy that they signed. Lees Manu, they signed him as well. Ansel Gilmore. Rob Campbell, Puki, Rashika. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. The only thing that could change is if they move to a 5 at the back formation. If they were to move up to a 5 at the back formation, maybe it would look something like, really we want a 5-4-1, I guess. Let's take out Gilmore there. Just put in Omobamidele. Let's put in Cantwell there. I can't put Cantwell. He's already on the pitch. Let's take out Cantwell there and put in Billy Gilmore. Let's review. Put Cantwell there. Review and put Lees Melu in there. If there were to go to a 4 at the back, a 5 at the back formation, Omobamidele is available now. So yeah, it would look something a little bit more like that for Norwich. If they were to go to 5 at the back, that is. If not, then whatever the one it was before, that's gonna be good. Right, moving on. Southampton. We'll rattle through these. McCarthy, Livramento predicted to start again. Wouldn't be 100% sure on that one. So maybe if we just, for argument's sake, put Kyle Walker-Peters back in. I know Livramento did really, really well, but he's not been brought in to be the first choice right back. He hasn't. I know we probably love to think that he has. That would be an amazing 4 million FPL asset. But he's not been brought in to be the first choice right back. So, yeah, not convinced by that one. Other than that, who else could we potentially put in, to be honest? Nathan Teller, maybe. Not really anyone convincing me too much out of that list. So, yeah, that's probably pretty accurate aside from that. So, I've just changed Livramento out and Walker-Peters in. Stuart Armstrong has to start. Does he have to start? Livramento could play left back. No, I don't think so. Perraud will start left back. He's been brought in as they've signed him as Perraud as the first choice left back, so it wouldn't make too much sense unless they potentially put Livramento as right midfielder. I don't know. I'm not really convinced. That Southampton team is so poor. Southampton not looking as strong as they have done in the past. All right, maybe you take out Gineppo and you put in Stuart Armstrong there potentially, something like that instead. But there we go. Like I said, we're going to rattle through these last teams. Tottenham Hotspur. I would probably leave that as it is. Other than, okay, obviously the players are going to move around a little bit. Ali will be playing as more advanced to Højbjerg and Skip. But the one change I would make is I'm going to take out Eric Dyer. I'm actually going to put their new guy in. Where are you? Where are you, Romero? Here you are, Christian Romero. So, obviously, he played in the, not Europa League, the Conference League for Spurs, so he's ready to go. Tanganga, I think, is going to keep his place at right back. Played quite well against Man City. And, yeah, you probably wouldn't want to make too many changes because Spurs, I thought, played very well in that game against Man City, so you wouldn't make any changes. Kane... Yes, technically he's kind of available, but he's not going to start whilst everything's going on, which it is at the moment. Lucas Moura and Bergwijn, they're going to play. They play well. Yeah, I think there's just not really going to be many changes to this Spurs lineup. It's just going to be that one difference. So, yeah. Yeah, just the one. Is it one change from last game? Oh, well, yeah, it is. Yeah, just one change from last game. I'm predicting Dyer out and Romero in. Watford now. Watford, this is, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Dennis, obviously, he did have a little knock in that game against Aston Villa, but he has trained, so and there's been no reports of him being injured. So I would suggest that Dennis is going to play. So guys, if you're hopping on Dennis or thinking about hopping on Dennis, I'd be pretty happy with that, to be honest. So yeah, there we go. Watford done. Easy peasy. West Ham, I know it's going to be easy because I don't think there's going to be any changes from last game. I think it's going to be exactly the same team as last time, which this is. So exactly the same from West Ham. No need to dwell on that one too much. There we go. And finally, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Is Semedo available now? I think he is. I know Hover played quite well, but I think Semedo is available now. So, I don't know, a bit of a toss-up there at right back. But aside from that, defence, yes. Jose Sarr, yes, obviously. Marçal, I don't really like as a left back, to be honest. But, yeah, maybe. Maybe he can switch out to a Reinhard Nori potentially there, and then maybe Semedo or however, I don't know about who's going to start. Ruben Neves, Jaume Marcinho sounds sensible, and Traore, Jimenez, Trincao up front. There we go. Bing, bang, bong. There we go, guys. There we go. And that's everyone. That's every predicted lineup. Hopefully we're done, guys. Hopefully you enjoy this. Hopefully you found this very, very useful indeed. Please let me know if you did. Let's just go back to... Oh, no. Where are we going? Go back here. Sorry, I've got too many scenes. Yeah, let's just come off that website, basically. So, guys, if you want to go check out that website, it is starting11.com. Really, really cool website. For predicting lineups. It's like a little game where you can predict lineups and stuff. If you did enjoy this video, please do like it. I would really appreciate that. If you're new around here, please do subscribe as we march on to 100,000 subscribers. And it's almost 10 o'clock, so I need to go and have some dinner finally and chill out a bit and get ready for tomorrow's big games. I'm really, really excited. Guys, please do join me tomorrow. We're going to be doing a deadline stream. We're going to be streaming from 10 a.m. BST, so 1 hour before the deadline, right the way up to the deadline. Maybe we'll be going for a little bit longer than that as well. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy that a lot. But there we go, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, if I don't see you on tomorrow's deadline stream, have a good one, good luck, and I will see you later, mates. Bye bye.